Hi Pisces, here is a general look at your solar chart for half of January and the whole of February 2015. And until the 19th of January, the solar energy is creating a theme of connection. So connecting with others through friendships, through associations, maybe in a group or an organization or some sort of society or club or circle. It's quite a future orientated phase. You feel as though maybe you're breaking new ground in some ways. Networking and technology is definitely a theme. And then from the 19th, the sun goes into quite an obscure area of your solar chart. Of course, this isn't your natal chart because that might be in quite an extrovert area, but the sun goes into an obscure area in your solar chart, which is pulling you to get on with things behind the scenes maybe, or maybe sort of more supportive kind of feel to it for others. So putting your ego on one side and being more selfless, which is kind of your thing, Pisces, the thing that you're practicing in this incarnation, and just being there for the common good, being there for others in some way. Now, for all the signs, there is a certain underlying there is a certain underlying ambiguity or confusion going on throughout this forecast period because of a few hits on Neptune from Mars, Venus, and the Sun. So during this phase here, we've got Mars on Neptune, which might mean that you feel a bit stuck, or you feel a little bit confused, or you're indecisive. You're indecisive because things are up in the air, and maybe there is somebody got the wrong end of the stick, or maybe it's not like that. Maybe you're just uncertain about how somebody is, what their motivation is maybe, or just how they are. Right, and maybe you're fearing the worst, because this kind of thing can happen with too much Neptune around, and you're feeling like you don't know which gear to put yourself in. But on the upside, this is a very good time to do, as I say, be there as a support for another, putting your personal preferences and desires on one side temporarily, and just do what needs to be done. But definitely deliberately be nice to yourself, nurture yourself, take downtime for yourself, and kind of protect your boundaries. Protect, very much so, yeah, protect your boundaries, and even if you need to protect your energy field, because you're more easily influenced at this time, right? That is going on there, but you can get a lot done behind closed doors. You can really get a lot done, but don't be too sort of soft-hearted, and definitely you have to separate the needy from the greedy. But because Mercury is there as well, you are a bit at 6s and 7s. You don't quite know what to think. You don't get the feedback you need, you don't get the information you need, and you can be sort of like distracted, and you can sort of zoning out. Great for healing type activities, or activities which are therapeutic, which are like remedies, remedial type activity, especially in a little circle of others, or just with another. It can be like that. Also, another way it can work might not be like that at all for you. It might be that you are able to tap into your dreams more strongly. You're maybe able to visualize, and then really start working with that visualization to manifest it. Or it might not be like that. It might be that you are able to tap into the reserve that you've got in your unconscious for artistic work or imaginative work, something like that as well. There's various ways it can work, but it's more visionary. It's more ethereal and visionary, and less of this world. Also, to add into there, Mercury is retrograde until the 11th, and so that means that if you've been waiting on a response or a reaction, or you have to be careful that you have understood something correctly. or that somebody else has understood what you've told them correctly. Okay, so you have to be more careful at the time that Mercury is retrograde. But when Mercury goes direct, then responses can arrive, and information can be there, and a little bit more glimmer of understanding. But because of the position of Mercury, and also the fact that we've got Neptune, a case of Neptunitis going on in some of January and February, there is still this ambiguity. There is still the mists there, and you're not getting the absolute feeling of feeling settled, knowing what to do, being able to initiate something. It is a little bit like that, but it's like remedial energy, healing energy, spiritual energy, energy where your imagination can go taking off in all sorts of directions, but just make sure that you try and rein that in a little bit, because we generally can overinflate, and then expectations are too high, or indeed we're fearing the worst, and neither of those two polarities are likely to be happening. So until the 20th and the 21st, we've got Mars and Venus in quite well, they're actually coming into your sign, and so that means that we've got this funny mix of you feeling the pull inwards and being more introspective and a little bit distracted with something that's going on within you in the background, maybe in your private life or however it is, but at the same time having to be out there and having to be all singing, all dancing, and here I am. And so one eye looking out and one eye looking in, as I say. So close relationships get a boost because Venus is there, and actually, there could be a romance. You could be really hitting it off very well. You and someone just click. This is a time for definitely being more self-indulgent and buying whatever it is that you want, or indeed, just writing it on that list for your birthday, which is coming up in not too far away a time. And try not to put your hand in your pocket too much, because Venus is a little bit self-indulgent, and that self-indulgence can be coming towards you from somebody else, which is absolutely fine, and you can get yourself a good deal, in fact, or indeed you are paying for it yourself. But having said that, you can be really appreciative of anything coming towards you, whether you bought it for yourself or not at this time. But it might not be a question of buying. It might be a question of really valuing somebody's support, somebody's presence, somebody's contribution in another sort of a way. But Mars is there, and Mars is demanding that you take the initiative, you be decisive, you instigate. You are the entrepreneur, maybe, that you are getting on with it, and maybe you're plunged into situations which demand that you are assertive, and you've got to be in the lead, you've got to spearhead something in some way. But luckily Mars does tend to boost vitality. However, if you do not take enough downtime, Mars energy will run you ragged, because he doesn't tend to have an off switch, or even a kind of a pause, So the advice is to be smart and customize things to suit you and your pace, and to keep building up and regenerating your reserves as you go forwards, because you could be busy and completely overlooking your own needs and your body's needs as well. You can feel a little bit more impatient with Mars there also, but I think with Venus in the same position, she will take the sharper edges off Mars. Now, in the last few days of January, that's to say maybe for about the last 3 days of January up until about the 4th or 5th day of February, you may be a little bit in the dark about where somebody's coming from or what they're up to, what's going on for them. And you just haven't got, again, that feedback. But try not to be unrealistic. Try to keep the feet on the ground. Try to keep those rose-tinted spectacles off the nose. And don't make a solid commitment. Don't make a major move. In fact, I would suggest, as far as one is ever able to, not to do anything really, really crucial with any of this energy around. It's simply because there are bits that are missing. Now, having said that, we can't know everything all of the time. You know, there always are bits that are hidden or secret or not divulged until maybe we've signed on the dotted line, you know. So this is the time to trust. This is the time to have trust with a capital T. Really, really, really is. And you know how to do that. You're very good at doing that, Pisces. And just accept the limitations. Don't overinflate your expectations. Don't fear the worst. Just accept that. Try to keep it real. Try to keep it based on facts, right? Number 1 fact, number 2 fact, number 3. You know, I know no more than this. And just trust that your team that are always working in the background, watching your back, and always trying to help you through the lessons of this incarnation that you signed up for, to get through them. You know, they do a damage limitation a lot of the time, okay, but you have to allow them in. You have to know that they're there and give them the energy of your attention every now and again. So meditation would be a good idea, and just, you know, sparing them a thought, because just because they're invisible doesn't mean to say they're not there. I've been told that so many times, okay, so I'm passing it on to you. You can run with it now. And just don't set the bar too high, because that's setting yourself up for a failure or somebody else to fail, okay? So, all right. So I think you get the idea about that. And then, okay, so then we got Mars and Venus in this very materialistic area. So you need to get organized in a material, physical, security orientated sense, to do with property, to do with possessions. That's from the 20th to the 20th and the 21st, because they move out of there on the 20th and the 21st. Mars first and then Venus, and then the Sun comes into the previous area, and so there still is this theme of and the Sun, of course, comes into your sign on the 19th. So happy birthday. Yeah, the Sun comes into your sign on the 19th, and then you're in the mood to sort of step out there a little bit more. And Venus is in, and Mars is in this quite materialistic area, and goodies can be in the pipeline, but you have to maybe be more decisive about what's going on with the piggy bank, what's going on about, you know, this asset, or capitalizing on this skill or this talent or whatever it is. So maybe you've got your head right down into that kind of stuff, and there could be more paperwork, of course, because that kind of goes with the territory. Although possibly there won't be more paperwork till coming into March, actually, I would say, yeah. And then you're actively engaged and making decisions to improve things as far as basic stuff is concerned. You know, roof over the head, buying, selling, renting, leasing, that kind of thing could very much be a theme going on there. And then Saturn. Saturn is at the top of your chart until June, and this is a more challenging position than the previous one of Saturn. And not with, you know, it's you will have to surmount certain obstacles as you go forwards, but it will definitely, this position of Saturn, slowly over this long transit, which will be, this is the first episode of it until June, and then there's a break, and then there's a longer episode up until 2017, from later on in 2015 onwards. This will help you to redefine your place in the world. This is the world seeing you in a different light, seeing you as in a different role, maybe in a different place. It can be many things, and your image will be changing, and your life direction will be changing and improving, hopefully, over this time, because you will be the one that has to take this on and be more serious about making those dreams become real, with your goals and ambitions in life, and reaping the seeds sown in past years, for good or ill. So you may feel that you at the moment you are reaching for where you want to be, or what you want to be doing, or how you want to be seen, or the career, or, you know, slowly climbing up the levels of the hierarchy in the society or with the profession, but you haven't got there yet, because this is the famous Saturn carrot, you know, which you're reaching for, and Saturn there will make you feel more than ever that you need to try harder to achieve these targets, these goals, these ambitions, the master plan, right? And you Pisceans born 20th to the 25th of February, or with 2 to 6 degrees rising, going to feel this energy the most in the forecast period. And then Jupiter is going to be in your area of health and work until next August. So there's going to be no shortage of opportunities for you to grow through your daily tasks, but also through employment, through the types of skills and strings you have to your bow. So this is a brilliant time for you to get out, get yourself signed up to this course or that training program to get the skills, or maybe just you need more practice, you need more experience at something. But this is the time to do it. And also this is the time when somebody's like to notice you for what you're able to do and appreciate you and actually offer you some money to do it. So try to make sure that what you're doing, or aspects of what you're doing, is what you want. Is what is necessary at this time. So maybe you're doing something that isn't, you know, your ultimate goal, but you see it as a stepping stone. So you just need to really go for that, because Jupiter is about growing, and it's about expansion, and it's about learning through doing. So maybe you'll be able to cover quite a lot of ground in this quite practical area with Jupiter there until next August, okay? And you know, attract somebody's attention, and maybe they will be, you know, a good enabler for you, or just a good customer, you know, or a series of good customers. So you Pisceans born the 4th to the 10th of March, or with 14 to 19 degrees rising, or co-worker, colleague, you know, 14 to 19 degrees rising are going to feel this energy the most in this forecast period. But remember, Jupiter is a learning planet, so sometimes there can be maybe it doesn't usually tend to be too adverse, but it can be. It depends on what your natal chart is doing, of course. But you learn quite fast about that, and then you sort of change streams, and then you go in a different direction. But usually the Jupiter energy will stand you in good stead, as long as you you know, are meeting the criterion of the Jupiter energy, which says this is your chance now to experience new scenarios, new situations related to your work and related to health as well, your own health. So you might kind of have been hesitant before, your own health or somebody else's health, saying, oh no, it'll sort itself out. Actually, this is the time to reach out. It is really 100% the time to reach out into whichever area you need to, and ask for that help with the health, okay? So with Neptune in your sign, you have to find a way of honoring yourself as an eternal soul. And you can be doing that just by finding something that you really click with, you really connect with, in a way which is perhaps mysterious. And at the same time, you need to be thriving in this very physical, material world. And so with Neptune in your sign, you should be doing things in the background which are bringing up your vibration, which is helping you to align, and then you can integrate this more and more and more into this material side of your life, and then the two come together more. And you Pisceans born 24th to the 27th of February, or with 6 to 8 degrees Pisces rising, going to feel that energy the most. And that's it for this forecast period. And if you know your moon sign or your rising sign, listen to those. And also this text is written up on my website, a little bit more than I've given you here, and a little bit less in some places. And I'll see you the next time.